Now we are in Genesis chapter 29. In Genesis chapter 29, now we're going to learn about Jacob's arrival in Haran, where his uncle Laban is. When he approached the town, he met a well where animals were gathered. But this well has a big stone covering the opening of the well. So what the shepherds do, they gather all the flocks together before they can roll the stone away so that they can water the flocks. So Jacob was there watching these people, and he asked the men, he said, "How are you guys doing? Where are you coming from?" They said they are coming from Haran. He said, "Oh, do you know this man Laban? Is he there?" They said, "Yes, he's there. He's well." They said, "You see that lady coming there?" And that was Rachel coming with his dad animals to come water them, because she was a shepherdess. She too was helping his dad to take care of his flock. So they pointed out Rachel to him, that is the daughter of Laban, your uncle you are talking about. So Rachel arrived with the flock, and I will read directly from the Bible. So today I'm reading from the King James Version. So in Genesis chapter 29 verse 4, "And Jacob said to them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him." So you see, the son of Nahor, the brother of Abraham. "And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them." And this was Jacob that was talking to these men, that the sun is still high up there. It is daytime. You can't water the flock and go take them, to keep them in their inn. What you have to do, allow them to drink water and let them go continue to feed, because there is still time for them to go sleep. And they said, "We cannot until the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth, then we water the sheep." So that was the response of the men, the shepherds. "And it came to pass then, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother." Laban was Jacob's mother's brother. So the daughter of Laban, now Rachel, arrived. And Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. So you see? And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. So Jacob introduced himself to Rachel, the daughter of Laban, that "I am your father's brother. He is my mother's brother." But in our own actual sense today, Jacob was a nephew to Laban, because your mother's brother is your uncle. But that was how he introduced himself to Rachel. So Rachel had to, then Jacob did help. He watered all the flock Rachel brought to the well. So Rachel had to run to his dad and tell him the good news that his nephew is here. And Laban said to him, "Surely thou art my bone and my flesh." And he abode with him the space of a month. So Jacob stayed with Laban for a whole month. And Laban had two daughters. The name of the eldest was Leah, and the youngest was Rachel. So Rachel was the younger sister. Leah was the eldest. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. So now, Jacob, from the very first time he set his eyes on Rachel, coming with the flocks to the well, he had loved Rachel. So after all this interaction, he went to live with them for a month. Now he told his uncle Laban that he loved Rachel. He can work for him just to get married to Rachel. And Jacob and Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they sinned unto him but a few days for the love he had for her. So you see, love at first sight. Jacob has loved Rachel from the very day he set his eyes on her. So now they are going to agreement with his uncle that he loved the daughter. And the uncle said, well, I would like her to get married to you, that I let her marry to another man, because you are our family. And he said, then you have to work for me for 7 years. And he agreed. And even towards the end of the 7 years, Jacob saw it like just few days. It didn't, seem to him to be a long period of time, because he loved Rachel. Because of love, anybody can do anything. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. So, after the end of the 7 years, Jacob has to demand his wife from Laban. And Laban said, okay, I have heard you, but I'm going to get all our elders and the family ready for the marriage rites. You see, theirs in those days, he didn't say, oh, I have to go call my people, my mother has to be here, my brother has to... They did it as their own tradition. Nobody has to come, because he was running away. He wouldn't even want his brother to know. Or that was their culture by then. So Laban asked that he is going to gather all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him. And he went. You see what Laban did to Jacob? After the marriage rites, it was in the night, he brought the eldest daughter, Leah, to Jacob to sleep with her, because to their tradition, they bring the bride to you in the night. And he had an affair with her. In the morning now, he realized it wasn't Rachel that he wanted. And when he confronted his uncle about it, he was upset. The uncle said, well, for us here, we will not let the younger sister get married before the elder. That was the reason I gave Leah to you. But Jacob insisted, no, it wasn't Leah I worked for. It was Rachel I told you I want to marry. I didn't want Leah. But because he has already, have an affair with her, he couldn't put her away. So they negotiated again. He said, I don't mind. For the love of my life, I can still labor for you another 7 years. So he has to give his services to his uncle again for another 7 years for the love of his life, Rachel, because he loved Rachel. And they agreed again. He had to work another 7 years before Rachel was brought to him. So you see what he has done to his brother. The name of Jacob himself means a deceiver. He has deceived his brother Esau, and he has run away. So the deception has followed him. You can't run away. You can't run away from your bad deeds. It will follow you. For now, we say karma is real. Karma will come for you. When you do this to somebody, it will come back to you. So what he did to his brother, his uncle has just done it to him. He has labored. Imagine, he has labored, worked for him without pay for 7 good years, taking care of his animals, doing everything for him, and he never paid him. And then when the time, came for him to get the love of his life, instead they gave him somebody else. He was so disappointed. He was upset. He was hurt. But because he still loved Rachel, he said, I don't mind. I will still work another 7 years. And he went ahead and worked. We can read again. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter. Okay, we have gone through that. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me, yet 7 other years. So you see, he told him, since you have known that now as a wife, fulfill her marital right for 1 week. Then we can talk about Rachel. At the end, he told him he has to work again for another 7 years, and he agreed. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. But he worked for him 7 years again for Rachel. So he ended up working 14 years for 2 women. So now, when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb. But Rachel was barren. So God balanced everything for them. After these 2 women, or these 2 sisters, were married to one man, to their cousin. And the eldest that the dad deceived Jacob to give to him, God opened her womb, because Jacob didn't really love her, but he didn't have any option because he has known her as a wife already. So he has to take her as wife, but he didn't love her. So God had pity on Leah for that, and he let her have children. And she had up to 4 sons. Straight. 4 sons. And Rachel, the beloved wife, was barren. She couldn't have children in time. So let's continue reading. In verse 33 now of chapter 29. And she conceived again and bare a son, and because the Lord had heard that I was hated, he had therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. Okay, the first son Leah got was Reuben. Leah conceived and bare a son and called his name Reuben in verse 32. For she said, surely the Lord had looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love him. That was her hope, but it didn't happen. Who put her there? Her father did, because of deception. She was not loved by the husband. That husband was meant to be Rachel's husband, but because the dad was was not honest to his own nephew, so he pushed Leah to him. And now look at what is happening to her. She's lamenting. The first son, Reuben, she named, saying, God has looked upon my affliction, and now therefore my husband will love me. And then in verse 33, she conceived again and bare a son, and because the Lord had heard that I was hated, he had therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. So you see, Reuben first was, the Lord had looked upon my affliction. And now Simeon, the Lord had heard that I was hated. By who? By her husband. And so she gave birth to Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son and said, now this time my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. So even when she gave birth to the 3rd son, she named Levi, saying, I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. He said, my husband be joined unto me. My husband be joined unto me, because I have given him 3 sons. So she named the 3rd son Levi. And then she got another son, number 4, and she called him Judah, saying, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called the name Judah and stopped bearing children. And that was the end of chapter 29. Thank you.